Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I tell you every week, I don't take days for granted. I don't take you for granted. I'm happy and grateful for you. I want to remind you that you are healthy, you are wealthy, you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. You are great. So this week, and God had actually said this to me about a week or so ago, but it's been on my heart all morning. And I believe this week what he wanted me to tell you or remind you, what I call you to do, I grace you for it. Okay? What God calls you to do, he graces you for it. So what is grace? Um, it's the free and unmerited favor of God as manifested in the salvation of sinners and the bestowal of blessings. All right? He graces us. So I don't know if you remember, but I had told you guys before that we are always supposed to be somewhere, not everywhere. Okay. So if we believe that our footsteps are predestined, preordained by Jehovah God, then every day there is purpose that he has for us to walk out of. But sometimes we will we will do things out of good intentions. We'll do things out of obligation. But is that what God told us to do in that day? Okay. So he wanted me to remind you on this Meal Prep Monday that what he calls you to do, he also graces you for it. So what does that mean? If you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling like you're at a ceiling, you feel like, you're all over the place, you have to be willing to go to Psalms 46 and 10. You got to be still. Know that he's God. Go back to your brain dump that you're doing the night before. Prioritize the list, but don't put so much pressure on yourself that if you got 10 things on the list, 10 things have to be done today. God's timing is perfect. So sometimes we can do something and we're out of the timing of God and we'll still forfeit the blessing. Or it'll come, but it won't sustain, it won't last. So you think about, like, if you get money, if you get an unexpected check, first of all, you should be commanding your dollars. All right. But let's just say you didn't. And you just look at it like, oh, this is extra money. I'm going to go do this, this, and this. 9 times out of 10, where you sowed that seed, because where you put your money is a seed sowed. All right. If it's not where God said, do you still have it? How many times have we went and bought something because we wanted it at that time, but now we either misused it, we don't know where it is, whatever it is, we have to be willing to understand that what God has for us to do is grace. So if God is saying to sow it into someone, you will see the fruit of that seed. Okay? You'll see it, they'll receive it. You'll see fruit through them, you'll receive, and we'll see fruit from you. Okay? So, Meal Prep Monday, I just want to remind you and encourage you that our footsteps are predestined and preordained. I told y'all this is a fixed fight and we've already won. Okay? Doesn't mean that things don't come, doesn't mean that we don't face trials. Life is lifing. But when we are intentional to be on the heartbeat of God, when we're intentional to walk in the footsteps of him, when we're intentional to take the things that he has given us in this day to sharpen the tools that we already possess, he graces us. I tell y'all all the time, God's time is not our time. I firmly believe that the clock and the calendar is for us to mark time. It's for history to be written. But his time is not our time. What could take us a 100 years to do, he can do in as much time as it took to hear the snap of my finger. All right. So he has already purposed our life. He's already purposed this destiny. He's already purposed everything. So you got to be willing to slow yourself down sometimes. Sometimes you got to, if you're feeling off, if you're feeling like, just, if you don't have the peace that surpasses your fleshly understanding, then you have to be willing to steward your soul enough to be a good steward over your own soul that you'll pause. Well, Nicole, I don't have time to stop. You better. Because if you don't, and you feel that rushed, where you're rushing to could be destructive. Because you don't even know if that's where you're supposed to be. Okay? So meal prep Monday. And literally, I was writing my bills out. Y'all don't look at my bills. But I was writing last week, and he said that. I can't even remember who I was talking to. I was on the phone with somebody. But he said that to me. What I call you to do, I grace you for it. And he's been just talking to me about it. He's been showing me different things about that one statement. So I want to encourage you to love yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be willing to slow yourself down. Listen to your flesh in the sense of listen, we're spirit with soul wrapped in flesh. So let me be very clear on how I say this. This is the natural part of us. We're human. It's the humanism of us. When your body start talking to you, when the aches start coming, when you're not rested and you're starting to drop balls and miss things, listen to it. Okay? Listen to your body, slow yourself down and realign. We're spirit with soul wrapped in this flesh. The flesh, it encompasses who we are. So we got to learn how to listen to it. Okay? You got to listen to your body. Because sometimes we'll keep going. The flesh can't keep up. Because, the spirit never sleeps. The soul is what's being fed. But Jehovah God, he balance. We have a balance. When we walk our days out, we're intentional to find the balance of that day. Okay? So I just want to remind you, you are supposed to be somewhere, not everywhere. And when you're doing the things that God has predestined and preordained in your day and the footsteps that he has for you, he makes the room and he graces you. He gives you the tenacity that you need to be able to do it. All right. When you're in the grace and the covering of God and you're walking your day out, you can reflect on the day and be like, man, how did I get all that done? Because it was what was predestined. But if you are at the end of your day and you're exhausted, frustrated, irritated, overwhelmed, something you picked up that may not have been what you were supposed to be doing. I serve a God that loves me. Okay. He doesn't want me wore out where I am no earthly good to him when I'm intentional to be a kingdom builder. All right. So meal prep Monday, man, I promise y'all, I am not like being short because I'm outside of the house. I am telling y'all what he have for me to tell you, and that's it. But 10:14 again. So I will open it up. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say, share, question, comments, concerns? Anybody feeling heavy, overwhelmed, and know that you need to put the brakes on? Be still. If it be nobody, now y'all know I can't see you. And if you're typing something, I can't see it. So you will have to come off of mute. Okay, so meal prep Monday. I just want to encourage you that you have purpose because you are purpose. You're not looking for purpose. You're walking it out. I want to remind you that you are pleasing. You're pleasing to God because you're giving him a yes. He judges us by our heart. I want to encourage you that anything that God has for you to do, he's already made provision. He's already made the way. So we just walk it out. And when we start to get to a place where in our mind, because remember, the only place that we can be battled is the mind. So if there's a place or a time where you feel like you're unsteady, it's almost like you may miss that whisper of the Holy Spirit. So I'm just here to remind you that your days, you already have a portion of grace, and you have a host of angels that you can call on at any time to continue to keep you on the path that is predestined and pre-purposed for you in that day. That never changes. And when we start to feel like we're razzled or rattled, take your woosah, take your moment, fall back. Y'all know for me, I go sip tea. There are times, and then, I go to Carrabba's, I go to Panera. There was a day that I left Carrabba's and went to Panera because what the piece that I was looking for, I didn't get it there. I went to the next place and drank another tea and then went home because you have to learn what you need to do to just kind of get back to that balance. All right. So if no one has anything, was that somebody?
Yeah, Reva's mic is unmuted. Reva, you can speak.
Hey, Reva.
Hey, oh my gosh, I didn't realize my mic was unmuted. I definitely wasn't trying to say anything. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Okay, so Meal Prep Monday this week, I just want you to remember that you are graced every day for what you're purposed to give. All right, you are the light, you're the head and not the tail, you're above and not beneath. You are victorious. You are healthy. You are wealthy. You are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things. So you have to make sure that you're walking in wisdom, because whatever you touch, it's got to be the right thing. All right? Stay focused, stay humble, stay positive. Be the best version of you unapologetically, because no one else can do you like you can. We can try to clone you, we can try to imitate you, but we cannot do what you do. And you're relevant, you're necessary, you're needed. I need you. I'm grateful for the accountability that you're willing to do with me every Monday, because you don't have to do it. So I'm grateful. All right. I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.